All right, let's just get real for a second. We're going to skip the part where I tell you everything is going to be okay, because it's not. We're going to skip the happy little quotes over a sunset, and we're going to talk about the brutal, silent war you fight every single morning. You know the one. It happens in that split second between your alarm screaming bloody murder and your thumb hitting the snooze button. That's the battlefield. And the war isn't fought in some grand arena with people cheering you on. No, it's fought in the dead silence of your own mind, when you have to choose between the person you desperately want to be and the person you've been settling for. This isn't about becoming some productivity guru or life hacking your way to success. This is an intervention, because right now, every single day, you are making a choice. You're choosing one of two pains. And the one you think is the easy way out, well, that's the one that's going to burn you alive. Let's really unpack that. Scars? What are scars? They are proof that a wound has healed. They're a sign that you went up against something and you survived. They're a reminder that you were stronger than whatever tried to break you. That's what discipline is. It's the ache in your muscles after a workout you almost skipped. It's the mental burnout after you pushed through that project when your brain was begging for a distraction. Yeah, it hurts. It leaves a mark. But that mark is a badge of honor. Now, let's talk about regret. He says it will burn through your bones. That is not a metaphor. That's a diagnosis. Regret isn't a clean wound that scars over. It's a spiritual cancer. It's a slow, radioactive decay that starts in your core and spreads outward. It's a pain that offers you nothing. No lessons, no strength, no healing. It's the phantom limb of your own potential, aching for a life you were too damn comfortable to fight for. You know this exact moment, don't you? The phone is finally down. The noise of the day is gone. It's just you, the darkness, and the low hum of the refrigerator. And that's when it comes for you. The reel starts playing, living rent-free in your head. And it's never the good times, is it? It's the ghost of every opportunity you left on read. It's that business idea you were obsessed with for a week. You even bought the domain name, and then you just let it expire. It's the face of that person you should have talked to, but your heart started hammering in your chest and you chickened out. It's the promotion you knew you earned but were too afraid to ask for. Every memory is a scene, and you're the star of a tragedy about doing nothing. That scream you hear at 2 a.m. isn't just sadness, it's your soul. It's the real you, trapped under layers of comfort and excuses, begging you to remember who you were supposed to be before you started negotiating your dreams down to a more manageable size. Okay, so we've established the vibe. It's bleak. That late-night regret festival is a universal human experience. But why? Why does choosing the path that leads to everything you want feel like wading through wet cement, while the path that leads to that 2 a.m. horror movie feels as easy as slipping on ice? It is not because you're weak. It's not because you're lazy. Not really. It's because the hardware you're running is about 100,000 years out of date. You are trying to run 21st century ambition software on a brain that was designed for one thing and one thing only: surviving the Stone Age. So now we're going to pop the hood and take a good hard look at the glitch in your system. Let's get something straight about the machine between your ears. Your brain could not care less about your dreams. It doesn't care about your vision board. Its prime directive, written in ancient evolutionary code, is ruthlessly simple: keep the body alive. And that means conserving energy at all costs. Anything that requires effort, discomfort, or waiting for a reward gets flagged by its ancient operating system as a potential threat. See, greatness requires discomfort. Growth requires you to push past your limits. Your brain's threat detection system looks at your ambition and goes, warning, unnecessary energy expenditure. This feels like it might get us eaten by a lion. Let's just stay in the cave and eat these berries instead. The cave is your bed. The berries are the infinite scroll in your phone. This isn't a moral failing on your part. It's a feature, not a bug, of a very, very old system. So inside your head, there's a constant civil war happening between two systems. On one side, you've got your lizard brain, the amygdala. This is your ancient, freaked out head of security. It's running on software from 100,000 BC. It sees a work deadline and has the exact same chemical freakout as seeing a predator in the bushes. Its only solutions are to fight, run, or freeze. In our world, that translates to procrastinate, get distracted by something shiny, or scroll TikTok for 3 hours straight. Then, on the other side, you've got the CEO brain, the prefrontal cortex. This is the new, fancy part of the brain that can think about the future, set goals, and understand consequences. It's the part that knows you need to go to the gym today to be healthy in 20 years. But here's the problem. The CEO brain is quiet and logical. The lizard brain has a direct line to the panic button and a megaphone. So while the CEO is trying to lay out a 5-year plan, the security chief is just running around screaming, "We're all gonna die! Eat the donut! Eat it now!" And this right here is the key that unlocks everything. You are not the computer. You are the system administrator. You are the one with the admin password. Your job is to recognize when the lizard brain has hijacked the system and is running its outdated saber-toothed tiger panic protocol. You have to be the one to step in, open up the command line of your own mind, and manually type in a new directive. You have to look at that impulse to hit snooze and just say, access denied. You have to look at that urge to avoid the hard conversation and say, override, execute courage protocol. It feels hard because it is a manual override. You are literally fighting your factory settings. But the second you realize you have admin access, you stop being a victim of your own wiring and you start being the architect of your own will. All right. So now that we've diagnosed the glitch in the system, let's talk about the fundamental math of being alive. And I'm going to be brutally, absolutely clear here. There are no life hacks. There are no shortcuts. There are no secret third doors. Every single day, life puts two options on the table, and you have to pick one. That's the deal. And understanding this simple equation is the difference between a life you build and a life that just happens to you. This right here, this is it. This is the law of emotional physics that governs the entire universe. And notice the word he uses, suffer. Not experience, not deal with, suffer. The idea that you can somehow build a life that's free from suffering is the ultimate fantasy. It's completely delulo. The universe does not offer a pain-free option on the menu. The only choice you get is to pick your poison. So are you going to suffer on your own terms for a purpose that you choose? Or are you going to suffer as a consequence of your own avoidance, haunted by a past you can never, ever change? Let's break down the two sides of this equation. Jim Rohn famously said, discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. The pain of discipline is the ounce-like weight of putting on your running shoes when you don't want to. It's the slight discomfort of saying no to that extra slice of pizza. It's the burn of that last rep in the gym. It's heavy in the moment, sure, but then you get to put it down. The pain of regret, that's a ton of bricks strapped to your back that you never, ever get to take off. Discipline is temporary. The workout ends, the project gets finished, the discomfort fades, and pride moves in to take its place. Regret is permanent. It doesn't fade, it compounds with interest year after year. And here is the most important part. One pain is useful, the other is completely useless. The pain of discipline is like a surgeon setting a broken bone. It hurts like hell, but it's part of a healing process that makes you stronger. The pain of regret is the useless, chronic ache of gangrene. It serves no purpose. It doesn't teach you anything. It doesn't build you. It just rots you from the inside out. Look at this chart. This is the profit and loss statement of your life. The first bar, discipline, is a clear investment strategy. The initial cost, that short-term pain, it's high. You feel it. But look what happens over time. The long-term cost plummets. It's front-loaded pain that pays you back with dividends of pride, skill, and freedom for the rest of your life. Now look at that second bar. Regret. That's a payday loan from your future self. The short-term pain is almost zero. It feels easy. It feels good. But the long-term cost is astronomical. It towers over everything. You're not avoiding the cost by choosing comfort. You're just deferring the payment and adding insane, soul-crushing interest. So that's the choice, laid bare. You can pick the pain that acts like a sculptor's chisel, chipping away all the parts of you that are weak and unfinished, shaping you into something magnificent. Or you can pick the pain that acts like a slow, corrosive acid, dissolving your self-respect, leaving you hollow with shame. You don't get a life without a chisel or an acid. You only get to choose which one you'll live with. All right, let's have a little chat. Just you and me. Pull up a chair, we're going to have a vibe check. And we're going to talk about the beautiful, creative, and utterly flimsy lies that you tell yourself every single day. This is the part where I become that one friend who loves you enough to give you the side eye and just say, seriously, that's the story you're going with? So yeah, this is a roast, but it comes from a place of love, mostly because I've used every single one of these excuses myself. Let's run through your brain's greatest hits album, shall we? I'll start on Monday, the magical fantasy day when calories don't count and you suddenly have the willpower of a monk. Spoiler alert, Monday you is just a slightly more tired version of Sunday you. I'll do it when I feel ready, which is your lizard brain's favorite code for never. I just need a better system first, a classic move. Let me just spend 8 hours color coding my planner instead of doing the actual work. I didn't sleep well enough for this, probably because you were staring at your phone until 1 a.m. I've earned a break. Have you, though? Or did you just answer 2 emails and now you feel you deserve a Netflix marathon? And the deadliest of all, the siren song of our generation. Just one more video. The lie that has probably claimed more human potential than all the wars in history combined. Can we please stop calling these reasons? They are not reasons. They are sophisticated, well-crafted alibis.
They're rationalizations from a brain that is coping hard with the discomfort of actually having to try. It's your lizard brain gaslighting your CEO brain into staying in the damn cave. And the math just is not mathing. You are trading a lifetime of "I'm so proud I did that" for a 5-minute hit of "I don't have to do that right now." It's a bad deal. It's a cringeworthy trade, and deep down, you know it.
I'm just going to leave that hanging in the air for a second. Let it marinate. If you didn't feel at least a little bit attacked right there, you're either a decorated Navy SEAL or you're a much better liar than you think you are. Okay, roast over for now. Time for the tough love solution. We've gone deep on the why, we've talked about the what, now let's get into the how. And the very first step is a massive reframe. We have been conditioned to think of discipline as a cage, a set of boring, restrictive rules that keep us from having fun. Plot twist, that's completely 100% backward. Discipline isn't the prison, the lack of it is. Seriously, think about it. When you don't have discipline, what actually runs your life? Your moods. "I don't feel like it" becomes a perfectly valid reason to abandon your biggest goals. You're a slave to your cravings. That sudden urge for junk food has more control over your actions than your long-term desire to be healthy. You're a slave to your circumstances. A little bit of rain can completely derail your entire fitness plan. That is not freedom, that is bondage. You're a puppet, and your fleeting, random emotions are pulling the strings. True freedom is the exact opposite. It's the ability to decide on a course of action and then execute on it, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Discipline is the tool that cuts the puppet strings. It is the only key that lets you out of the prison of your own impulses. Here is one of the most powerful mindset shifts you will ever make. You need to stop chasing motivation. Motivation is a flaky friend. It shows up unannounced, gets you all hyped up, and then disappears for weeks without texting you back. It's a spark. It's great for getting started, but it will never ever keep you warm through the winter. Identity? Now identity is the fire. It's the deep, burning core of who you are. So stop saying, "I need to get motivated to work out." Start saying, "I am the kind of person who doesn't miss workouts." See the difference? One is a negotiation, the other is a statement of fact. The goal isn't to feel like doing the work. The goal is to build an identity for yourself where doing the work is simply who you are. So how do we build this new identity? Here are 4 manual overrides for your lizard brain. Number 1, stop negotiating. The second that alarm goes off, your lizard brain will open the floor for debate. Your one job is to shut it down. Instantly. Your mind is not a democracy, it is a dictatorship, and your highest self, your CEO brain, is in charge. Number 2, master the monotonous. Your lizard brain craves new, shiny things. It hates boring, repetitive work. But guess what? Greatness is built in the boring stuff. By learning to embrace the daily grind, you are actively rewiring your brain to value long-term consistency over cheap, short-term hits of dopamine. Number 3, act on identity, not on mood. Your lizard brain is all about mood. This step bypasses that broken system entirely. By asking yourself, "What would the person I want to be do right now?" you activate your CEO brain. You connect your present action to your future self. And finally, number 4, win the first battle. The entire war for your day is won or lost in the first 5 seconds you are awake. Getting out of bed immediately, without hesitation, is the ultimate admin command. It sends a message to your entire system about who is in charge for the rest of the day. You start with a win, and momentum builds from there. Look, anyone can make promises in the light. Anyone can post their New Year's resolutions on Instagram. Talk is cheap. Promises are easy. But your future doesn't give a damn about your promises. It only responds to your actions. And the actions that count the most, they're the ones you take in the dark. When no one is watching, when no one is cheering for you, when no one would even know if you quit. That's where your character is forged. That's where your future self is being written, one silent, disciplined action at a time. We all have this fantasy of a version of ourselves that has limitless options and total freedom, the "I can do anything" version. But the truth is, that version is actually the weakest. It's scattered. Think of it like this. A floodlight illuminates a huge area, but it has no real power. A laser, which is just focused, disciplined light, can cut right through steel. The greatest version of you has parameters. It has boundaries. It says no. No, I don't do that. I don't waste my time on that. It says no to 1,000 things, so it can give a powerful yes to the few things that truly matter. The limits are what give you your power. So we're right back where we started, in the middle of the war inside your own mind. Your excuses are screaming for your attention. That big velvet armchair of your comfort is calling your name. The weaker version of you, that ancient, terrified lizard brain, is putting up one hell of a fight to keep you small and safe and mediocre. The only question left is, will you be louder? Will the voice of your discipline, the voice of your future self, the voice of the person you know you were born to be, will that voice finally scream louder than your fear? The choice, as always, is yours, and you're making it right now.